That's because you got to eat another box of Cheez-Its. Okay, well, it didn't work. Well, then tell them at least it'll make the diarrhea last a little less.
Yeah. Then you get diarrhea and you're thanking the Cheez-Its because the diarrhea it gave you isn't worse.
You know what? I like that we take our time in between because you're going to run out of shit if you do it every single. Here's what I like about the bunkers are awesome to do, but everybody loved Eddie Bravo. I love Eddie Bravo. He's already trying to set up a show where it's just me, him, and a couple other guys, and we're like doing like a red pill.
Ooh,
right. And maybe in Austin, Texas or something like that. So we're working on it. Me and Eddie are getting into things, but yeah, I could do the bunker, to be dead honest with you, every single show. But I feel like it would wear out after a while. It'll wear out. So
you got to break it up.
I like doing them with Eddie. I'd love to have him on more often. Me, him, and Shocker are just like, oh my God, we're three peas in a pod that have been the same exact person for years and years and years and never knew it. And I really enjoyed having him. But it seems like you people, you like it. You like being in the bunker. You like putting on your sunglasses. Today's going to be fun too. We get JP Sears. It's funny, during COVID, right? And when things were really going nutso, I would come across this guy doing sketches with like this red hair. And I didn't know, it's like, is he a comedian or is he just a guy like doing stuff? But every time he would make a video, he was so on it with the common sense that I couldn't wait to see this. And he would do like these sketches that he has his own unique, authentic way of putting things out there, which is why I really liked JP Sears. And it's just so funny because I'm following the guy and I'm waiting for his videos. I would follow him. I'd follow this other guy, I want to say it's like Dream Care. I'd follow him. He made a lot of sense and he still makes a lot of sense. And I'd always see them. And then, I don't know, about 5-6 months ago, I was flying out of Fort Myers Airport and I see JP Sears. I'm like, holy crap. And I go walking up to him and all I said was, bro, you make me laugh so hard. And he looked at, he's at the airport and he's on his ticket and he looked up and he goes, Jim Breuer? I'm like, yeah, can I get a picture? He's like, can I get a picture? I'm like, yeah, dude, what are you talking about? You got way more followers than I do. What are you talking about? And I say, I'd love to keep in touch with you. I'd love to. He said, yeah, here's my number, blah, blah, blah. And so it's really cool that he's coming on. And I started thinking about, because the more we started doing the bunkers, today's not a bunker, but JP is one of those guys that has been raging against this machine, whatever you want to call it, however you want to define it. I think most of the followers are on to the common sense, think for yourself factor. And he's been on it since day one. And he puts everything, he makes these, like right now, he's got a video. It's creepy looking. He's wearing makeup and he's got like pigtails. I'm like, what the? So I had to watch it. And he's basically doing what they're pushing in classrooms.
Oh, that's the teacher one. I just watched that.
Yes. He's like, hi, I'm your new teacher. I'm whatever he said. I didn't watch the whole thing, but he's got a lot of videos like that. But he's really smart. He's a family guy, which I always enjoy. And I don't know what that is. I really feel like I'm like in a haunted house or something. And I'm super excited to have him today. I really want to pick his brain about how far he goes with this stuff and where it all started and all that jazz. But I don't know if you've seen That Show Tonight, but That Show Tonight is something I'm trying to help get involved with. And we're in the works of a big date that would come out in July where we can watch it and live stream it live from Oklahoma. Omaha, what the hell? I don't know. This guy, Clay Clark, has got this theater. He loves the idea, wants to do that show, variety show in his theater, promote the snot out of it. And it's so funny. This guy, Clay Clark, says to me today, he's like, Jim, what if we get like a JP Sears? And that's hilarious. I'm podcasting with him today. And I went, we're along the same line. I'd love to get a guy like JP Sears who doesn't need anyone. He does everything on his own. He doesn't need anyone to put him out there. Him, the Hodge twins, there's so many guys that do their own thing. But to be able to put all these guys in one house once in a while, I think would be absolutely hilarious and absolutely tremendous, really smart. And I think people would really, really like it. Maybe we get Eddie Bravo. There's so many. The more I start watching and seeing and thinking of that show called That Show Tonight, which you guys could check out. You can go to That Show Tonight. I think Michael Liftis, I think it's you got to pay for it. Hey, you know what? Not for nothing. I look pretty damn good. Is my hair getting blonde? Is that what Florida's doing to me? You see this, right, Mike?
Looks like it. Yeah, it's lightening up.
Whoa, dude. I look like, whoa. I swear to my God.
Bro.
I don't highlight, but it looks like I got a little highlight. Now, maybe that's the sun, but I got to say, you know what happened today too? I'm in New Jersey. I'm not supposed to really be in Jersey until tomorrow. But for those of you who come to the Carteret show, we're gonna find. Never been there, but I'm also gonna have a big Jersey announcement soon. I'm gonna see you, Mike. Right?
That's right. Annie and I are gonna be there. Yep.
Friday night in Carteret, New Jersey. I'll see you. I got a couple good friends going, but well, for you YouTubers, it's too late, but I'm pretty excited about live streaming for the Patreon show tonight. Thursday night. This is gonna be a good one. It's one of my favorite all-time venues in the country. I love this town. It's a cute little nothing town, and some people go, Jim Thorpe. I go, I know. Doesn't sound like much, but I'm telling you, the venue there is awesome. So yeah, that's going to be a good live stream concert. And I have to tell you guys something too. I'm going to New York City, and I'm going to B&H, and I'm going to try to get myself a professional studio that I can travel with. So I don't have to keep trying to figure things out. Like right now, I'm in an Airbnb in New Jersey. And as you can see, it's like the decor is very yellow. I'm in a Victorian home that's probably about 200 years old, I think the guy said. But I'm on a farm. It's absolutely stunning and beautiful. But if you can look at, I'll show you some of them. I mean, look at this wallpaper. Are you kidding me? This is like when they used to wear ballroom dresses all day and stuff. Unbelievable. Anyway. Not my pick of decor, but wow. You know what? I'm getting off on how I look here. I think I should go for I'm liking this, Mike. You bastard.
That is great.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. And And who we got coming up too? Do we have someone? Do we have someone next week, or am I doing?
Next week you're doing the funny how God works.
Yes.
So we were gonna do it this week, and then I reminded you of who was coming on today, and we
Yes.
put a halt on that.
Super stoked. And you know what? I'm working with someone on the Funny How God Works, a tour where I'm going to put all the stories together as a stage show with a cool, like, lighting and screens behind me, and just really, I think I can reach an entirely different audience. So if you follow me anyway, you might want to come, but if it's not your thing, you're like, I don't want to see this tour. But I love telling these stories because they're real stories. I got nothing to sell, but just to hope that it touches someone and they go, wow. And once in a while I feel that way. You've said that too. Annie has said that. Like, if I can get people that go, I'm not real religious, but I like what you're talking about. I kind of feel the same thing. I think there's such a deep connection with so many of us, but we just don't know how to put it together or put it out there or define. Everyone needs to define it. And I think that's always like, there's no need to define it, bro. No need to define it. Relax. So, am I getting a glare? What's going on here? No glares, baby. No glares. Yeah, get out of here with that glare. There we go. Let's block the sun out. No glare. All right, let's wait for JP.
He's backstage. I can see him sitting there rubbing his face.
Well, let's not wait. Let's not make him wait. Super excited to have a guest here today, Mr. JP Sears. I'm shocked if you haven't seen him or been following him. I'm really, I'm not disappointed. I'm going to give you a chance. I'm going to say, maybe you just didn't know. Maybe you don't know on social media, but you really should follow this guy. I discovered him literally when the madness began, and he was one of the very few people that kept me feeling sane. And not only did he do that by being smart, really insightful, but he was funny. He has his own unique. It's very. I would never want to even try to imitate him. He's very authentic, and I can't say enough cool things about him. It makes me laugh hard. JP.
Jim, what's up, brother?
And
Good
bro,
to
you
see
work. You're buff too. I remember I saw you in person. Like, whoa, this guy. Yeah, he brings it.
Thank you. Steroids and camel milk. And, it's good. It's good. The two food groups. Yeah, man. Good to see you, man.
You as well. And you got one little one. I couldn't remember.
I do.
Two. You have one little one, right? You just had. Yeah.
Yeah, one little one. He's almost a year and a half old now. And I know the flight we shared during our in-person meeting, you were his in-flight entertainment, which I thought was pretty dope. Like, dude, my 1-year-old, I get to have Jim Breuer entertain him the whole flight. Like, felt like I was on top of the world.
That was awesome. I got to tell you, when did you start with everything? Because have you been around forever? When did you start making your videos? Because I wasn't a big social media guy. I really didn't start hitting it until, I hate even saying the word, when it all started going crazy. I'm not even going to give them that acknowledgement of what they tried to define it as. But you were one of the guys, my wife and I both would go. I remember she came to me, she's like, do you follow, I don't know his name, he's a redheaded guy with JP. She's like, yeah, well, yes, I follow him. Did you see his last video? Oh my God, I love this guy. It was really like, we would geek out on you. When did you start all this?
Yeah, I'll give you two answers. I started comedy online. I uploaded my first video October 5th, 2014. So been at it for a hot minute, but there's also kind of like a rebirth where I started using the language of comedy to speak up for freedom and help wake people up to protecting what I think is the greatest God-given gift we could ever imagine, which is freedom. I started doing that 2 years ago, right at the, about a month into the whole craziness. We're figuring it out.
So let me ask you real quick, because was there any type of fear going in that direction?
Yeah, dude, funny. Yes. So funny thing about our minds, the mind can measure what it's going to lose, but it can't measure what it's going to gain. So it just focuses on either what we're going to lose, but 99% of the time, it's just what we fear we could lose. So back spring of 2020, when freedom becomes a political issue, which I thought was nuts, like, dude, this is America. Aren't both sides supposed to be for freedom? And I think they are supposed to. They're not right now. But it's like, freedom's important to me. It's, I don't imagine a future where I have to explain to my son what freedom was. So I'm using comedy to like point out the hypocrisies and lies and like snags in the story of the narrative. And as freedom became political, there was a time where I really had to sit like, all right, like I see the blowback happening. And I've never done anything in politics in my comedy career, just never really interested in it. And there was that kind of fork in the road where it's like, all right, like if I keep going in this direction of speaking for freedom, there will be divide. And of course, then the fears start rolling like, okay, like I could lose my audience. What, I shrink my audience, like go backwards. And, I could get deplatformed from all the social medias, still a possibility. But as I looked at that choice, I realized there is no choice. I have to be true to myself. And I remember saying to myself, like, no, I would rather have to pick up cans on the side of the highway to feed my family if I get deplatformed. It's in the name of staying true to myself. And that's what I want to model for my son anyway. And also just feel it's hard to live with yourself when you're not being true to yourself. I would choose that rather than kind of like selling out my soul in order to play it safe and like do what I thought was good for business. Like, okay, be neutral. But it turns out, like so many things in my life, Jim, I was wrong. Continuing to stand up for freedom wasn't the worst thing I've ever done for my business. It turns out it was the best. Like, there's the fear. Couldn't have been more wrong. I'm afraid I will lose people. It'll be bad for business. I thought that was going to happen, but I said, screw it. I got to stay true. But it turns out, there's the majority of the people love freedom. That's just my reality traveling the country. So my audience grew like wildfire as I just was doing my best to be authentic with how I see things.
Isn't that amazing? What I like, you're a great example. There's a lot of great examples online. There's a lot of examples on how many people feel what you were putting out there, how many people felt what I was putting out there, what so many people were putting out there, but so many people feared that wasn't the majority. And I can honestly say on my life, it's an easy 85% of Americans are dying. And I will fight tooth and nail, debate anyone. And I'll prove it by one stupid thing. I don't know if you've flown, JP, since they've lifted the ban.
Yep.
I watched, of course, the government. We should still be wearing uns mask and the CDC. And if you see someone sitting next to you, make sure you tell them you have a grandmother at home. And could you please? No, but I saw 3 people.
Yeah.
Wearing a mask. 2 were older. One was whatever. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Sure.
Maybe sick and whatever. that, and then I transferred in Atlanta, huge airport.
Yeah.
People go, nobody. And that's when I turned to my friend. I went, now everyone voluntarily has a choice, and they're all choosing no. And that explains everything.
That's the most accurate statistic. It absolutely is. And yeah, I just flew this past weekend, and my same experience, like, cool, like a very small percentage of people had masks. And like, cool, I love freedom, personal choice, do what you want.
Knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Knock yourself out.
That's the litmus test.
The majority think, the majority has common sense, which is you really copped into. I went through a period too where I was really scared. I went, oh boy.
How long were you in the fear boat for? Like about like the virus? It's scary.
I'll tell you maybe a month. You know when I got scared?
Same for me. Yeah.
This is when I got scared. I remember doing live shows and already calling it out when it was on the way, because my agent was like, they're canceling shows. And I went, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are we really falling for this? He's like, no, it's serious. And when they started saying, we got to bring in ships, if he doesn't bring in ships, there's going to be people dead in the streets. And when they brought in the hospital ships, that's the first and only time I went, oh, whoa, maybe, wow, this is it. And then you know what happened? They left. Where you going?
Yeah.
We don't have anyone. That's when I went, are we gonna pretend this? They just sent the military and they didn't need them. Doesn't that explain everything to you? But then that's when I was like, wait a minute. So are we even a government? Like, what the hell? What is going on? And just like you, I'm not political. You to me, you're very common sense. You're very common sense. But this day and age, common sense is even political.
It is, case in point, there was a number of months ago that New York Times article, something titled The Dangers of Critical Thinking. Now, of course, common sense is a fruit that grows on the tree of critical thinking. So even trying to make common sense political, that's actually pretty damn funny. But dude, I remember, that first month, I remember vividly waking up in the morning feeling scared, like, dude, like I could die and have this precious life experience with my wife taken from me. I could, like, she could die. And, this is when we thought, like, we'd have a third of the population wiped out.
Yes.
But I love that I fell for it for a little while, because that helps give me compassion for people who are still there. Like, you and I were there for 30 days or so. There's people who are coming up on 2 years living in that space. And for whatever reason, watching the news too much and like forgetting to pretend that they could use their own brain to think instead of using the brain as a hardware to run someone else's software. Hi, Bill Gates. But, and not that I want to placate and like enable someone to stay stuck in a fear that doesn't serve them. But I love having compassion, because I'm like, dude, yeah, I was right there. I remember what it felt like. I remember walking in my neighborhood and I crossed the street so I didn't walk by someone on the same sidewalk. Now I got kind of laugh at that, but I never drove in my car with a mask on though. So,
what about, like, I would call friends up, like, hey man, does your sister still cut hair? And I remember I had to park down the street and cut through the backyards because she was like, and meet her in a garage. I swear to God. And because she was like, my neighbors, if they know I still cut hair, and if they find out I'm cutting hair, they'll report me.
You got a black market haircut?
I got a full-blown black market haircut twice. It was incredible. And people knew too. I'd show up like, hey, wait a minute. Your hair wasn't that long a week ago. I'm like, it's my kids.
Yeah.
Kids, we got the thing. And
I'm getting sick. It's just falling out.
Yeah. The stress. Apple. I'm getting the thing. I'm getting the Oscar thing. And then that led to, I would imagine you're touring a lot now from all that.
Yeah,
like when you tour, do you show your videos? What do you tour? How do you tour?
No, I don't like to take the easy, like, to be frank, from what I understand, there's some YouTubers that just kind of phone it in like, dude, let's like get an audience and then like make money from them with the least amount of effort put in as possible. But no, I take the stand-up very seriously. So I do an hour to an hour, 10-minute stand-up show. I don't show any videos. I don't want to rehash stuff people have seen. I want to give them a valuable experience. They're paying for it.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I go to kill, I go to murder, and I don't like doing things that you've seen or that you're really into. Although sometimes they like it. Do you find people like, JP, I thought you were gonna do the guy that's the teacher. I thought you were gonna do the whole the banking system video when you were talking about Schwartz. Like, why aren't you doing that?
There was actually before the pandemic, and where people like knew me as a freedom guy. One of my more viral videos back then was how to become gluten intolerant. So sometimes I'd be at a show and people were like, gluten. Like, what am I to do when you yell gluten? It's fun.
Right.
But all coming from love. And recently, I don't know what it was, maybe 6 months ago, I put out a video about why you have to wear life jackets, mandatory life jackets, and you got to wear your life jacket, and everybody else has to wear theirs or else yours doesn't work. You can use your imagination, what that's the metaphor for. But then, probably for the next 5 months, every single show I did, people were showing up in life jackets, like at least 2, 3, 4, 5 people a show, maybe 10. And which was good. Like, I don't do life jacket material on stage. It was like a fun symbol of love.
Yeah, that's a totally cool symbol. I remember that video too. You were sitting by the pool. You're by the pool. And then what people don't know too, is like I envy guys like you because I don't have the technology. Do you do everything yourself? You cut everything together. You got a guy. You got a guy.
I got a guy now. I got a couple guys, but it used to be, the first 4 years I was doing YouTube, everything. I was the camera guy. I was the director. I was the lighting guy, which usually meant I didn't use lighting. Videos look like crap. I edited it all, but now I got a camera guy and an editor just so I can spend more time writing and producing content, because that's what's most fun to me.
Yeah, you look like because doing the different characters, different angles, and all that's another thing where I'm fascinated watching. I'm like, this guy, he does everything. He makes, I can't do it. I just got to stand there with a mic. This guy, JP's making me look. Why can't I be JP?
In your comedy, though, did you start off stand-up or was it acting? What was your sequence?
I went stand-up, and then and I also wanted to be a dramatic actor. So I was going for acting, but I didn't want to be a comedy actor. I still don't want to be. I mean,
you got a future if you want to be a comedy actor.
Right.
Just put it that way.
So I wanted to do more drama, but I did stand-up comedy, and I wanted to be Eddie Murphy. I wanted to be Eddie Murphy. I wanted to be Richard Pryor. I wanted to be Sam Kinison. I wanted to be George Carlin, all mixed up in one. And that led to all the acting stuff. There was they back in the day, they would put us up like little like auctioneers. We'd perform with the industry watching. Yeah, you know, they'd stroke their beards. I sort of like the one who looks like he's high all the time. When does he go on? He has a look. I think I could sell him. And then we do our stand-up.
It's like human trafficking.
It really was. And we do our stand-up, and they're like, we'll give him $50,000 to hold him. I'll give $150,000. I'll give him $200,000 and executive producer. Whoa! And I'll give him $250,000, but I'll hold him just for 5 months. Sold to NBC. So that's the world that I was thrown into. And then, but I always, after I left SNL, we parted our ways, and even the movie industry, I saw enough of the soul. There's a lot. I mean, you could have an off-camera talk. The soullessness. I left it all. I wanted to raise a family, and I went, you know what? I want to be around my kids. I took a radio gig at Sirius XM. Loved it. It was the first thing where you could talk far and wide. And we used to get into this. We used to get into freedom and questioning 9/11. Yeah. People would be like, "Oh, dare you question?" I don't get it. A couple guys learned how to fly a plane, and don't you think we were at war? That would just be phase one, and then phase two, they got their snipers in 15 different states, and then phase three, they blow up all the gas stations. I don't know. If I'm invading America, that would be my choice, not just take down the towers and go, "Eat it, America." Just me. This is me. I'm not, buildings going, pretty miracle. I don't know about you, but
it's a very controlled demolition, allegedly done with 2 planes.
Dare you say something like that, JP?
Well, I'm just trying to create danger by speaking things that aren't in line with a narrative. This is dangerous, Jim.
It's extreme. You know, I had someone at my show. Oh my God. I was in Baltimore, and wait, Mike, you were there. Mike was there, and he was recording, and this guy got up. I'm about 15. I would assume, like, when you're really getting into it, the things you're talking about, it's not only laughter, but it's like, yeah, JP, we're with you. Yeah. And I kind of have to tone it down. Like, listen, this is not a rally.
Exactly.
It's not. I've been to the last 2 shows. They got so hopped up, they started chanting, "Let's go, Brandon." Whoa.
Get that all the time.
Dude, we're not. This ain't about politics. This is about humanity and common sense. Common sense.
And when the "Let's Go, Brandon" chants come out, like, dude, every show for at least 4 or 5 months, it's like the country had the most patriotic form of Tourette's. They're just like, "Let's go, Brandon."
Oh, and this guy stood up, and he goes, "You are a dangerous asshole," and he laughed, and everyone laughed, and everyone applauded him leaving. But I just was like, oh my God, this guy's
dangerous because you said words.
Because I used my thought process, which I still continue. I think the goofiest. Listen, if you got a vaccine shot, God bless you. I'm happy for you. But what other product can you imagine? The salesperson that goes, "Okay, so after the first shot, if it doesn't work, we'll say you need another shot. And then when that shot comes out, it doesn't work. What we're going to say is
because you're definitely not going to be in a hospital. And then after that, you get a booster because it won't kill you. So if it doesn't work 4 times, we'll have the backup. Can you imagine the CEO of Kraft Cheese going, what do we got for the new Cheez-Its? All right. So if you eat the Cheez-Its, the best, you're never going to have diarrhea. Oh, okay. Well, they got diarrhea. Okay. That's because you got to eat another box of Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it didn't work. Well, then tell them at least it'll make the diarrhea last a little less.
Yeah. Then you get diarrhea and you're thanking the Cheez-Its because the diarrhea it gave you isn't worse. Brilliant marketing.
Thanking the diarrhea. You know, I look at Jimmy Kimmel's now like, I have 4 shots and a booster and I got COVID. Make sure you get your shot. What? And there's people still going, you're right.
Dude, that's like going to the physical therapist and throwing your back out and injuring your knee at the physical therapy. And you're like, oh, thank God for physical therapy. How much worse would I be if I didn't go see them? Maybe it's a fucking lousy physical therapist. I don't know.
It's madness. But I thank God, I mean, you definitely were a little bit, when I see people like you, you're your own entity. I don't know, maybe the Hodge twins I would see once in a while, and I'd love the points. That there was one other guy, I don't know his name, but it's like called Dream Care or something. He's a rapper, but not a rapper. He's a white guy. He would make brilliant points and show some goofy stuff. But man, I wonder how we do if we did a show together. I wonder.
You want to?
Yeah, why not?
Why
not? Where you're in Texas, right?
I'm in Texas. Yeah.
We'll talk off the air. I mean, I've been talking because I think people need to see how many people. It's not so much how many people that we need to let people know we are the majority.
We are.
We're not only the majority, we are the overwhelming majority. And
we are. Yeah.
And the 15% that still pay for fake riots, they still pay for media, whatever they still pay for and control, they are such a tiny. I mean, they're a flea. They're a flea.
In the like sleight of hand with the magician of the authoritarians is because the tyrannical ones. I'm just gonna speak frankly from
let's call them for what they are.
The tyrannical ones, because they control vast majority of the mainstream media, they of course can make it appear as though, oh, you support freedom. You're a small fringe minority, definitely an extremist. And, like 90% of the country is all about communism, but we're calling it Build Back Better for now. Dude, I was in Portland. Dude, even the most liberal cities, I sell out all the shows. They actually sell better and faster because people in those cities don't have as many outlets. They don't feel as represented. So, dude, I did 12 sold out shows in Portland. San Francisco sold out all the shows. And there's more, kind of eyes glazed over people in those cities compared to anywhere in Florida or Texas. But we, the freedom lovers, are still the majority in those cities.
Big time. Big time. Big time. Do you feel this is all going to a really good place or a better place, or do you see like it getting all crazier? Like for instance, I know, I'm not going to get into what came out recently, the whole women's rights and
I want you to get an abortion on air right now, Jim. Just to
I'm doing it. Yeah, without doubt. So here's my thing.
it's such an incredible distraction. If you really follow the bouncing ball, that subject comes up all the time.
Yeah.
And it gets the same people going, their eyes cross. And you start thinking, okay. It's I know some people, it's not a subject to go, you're either for it or against it. It's one of those subjects where I know people that have had it. And the very few that I know that have had it really struggled with their well-being and their decision for a very long time. That I know is a fact. And they were pressured because they were young. And they've forgave themselves since then, but there's none of those voices are heard. It's just, you're in the for women's rights. And I wish everyone could see how many rights are really just well-paid, manufactured to tear down a family. That's all it is. And to tax. It's all about money and tearing that home apart. That's all it is. I may piss off some women right here, but if you really look at Rockefeller went out of his way to propagandize women's rights and the women's lib movement. Right. This is a fact. It's not an opinion. It is a fact. And he said, this is how we can get the females out of the house so we can tax 2 incomes now. How do we tax dad and mom? And now we got the kids. And now we can start indoctrinating the kids. It was a well thought out plan for years and years and years. People don't realize things are planned out for 30, 40 years. They think it's all like just showing up. It's not.
These psychopaths are very intelligent, and man, do they play the long game. I was doing a deep dive on a video I was writing this morning, and but what I'm about to say, it's not to say abortion's right or wrong. I've got my opinion, but this is just what I'm.
Yes, we have our opinions. So I'm not going to say right or wrong, but it's clearly a distraction right now to either get votes or piss people off or distract them from. Well, we're going to run out of supplies. The inflation is it's Putin.
It's an incredible distraction. And on the what I would say the propaganda that the tyrants attached to abortion.
Evil pigs. I call them evil pigs. But go ahead.
That's putting it nicely. Yeah. But, looking at Planned Parenthood, it was, Bill Gates's dad, Bill Gates Sr. He was a known eugenicist and the founder of the eugenics group, I believe, American Society of Eugenics, or American Eugenics Society. He wrote a book on it, and he says Anglo-Saxons are a superior race, and white people of Nordic European descent. And then you think, okay, well, Bill Gates' dad, member of that society. Which basically means they think white people are better than black people. So then Bill Gates Sr. Becomes involved in Planned Parenthood in a huge way in running it. Yeah. And then you say, well, what's that have to do with any of that? It's two separate things. Well, here's the interesting thing. 86% of Planned Parenthoods are in minority neighborhood. So this tract of, are they weaponizing this long game in order to, and there's something hilarious about this, in order to reduce the population of minorities, which is the most racist thing you can do. But here's the hilarious part. You ready, Jim?
Yep.
If this is all true, looks like these stars align, and some of them are facts. We know Bill Gates Sr., we know 86% in minority neighborhoods. Then if you look at the, not the left, The left are sensible, beautiful people. They're radical left, blue hair, fucking rage crying as a meditation.
Correct.
If you look at them, they're the ones who are now the biggest supporters of Planned Parenthood. So if this is all true, the people who think they are doing the most to fight racism would be doing a significant amount to propagate racism while thinking they're doing the opposite. We're just saying words, Jim.
We're just saying words.
You didn't land on the moon.
We landed there. We were there. It's full. It's real. We just don't feel like going back.
Saying dangerous things.
It's all hoopla, just characters. So the other thing is, with that, I always ask my girls, because they get the college kids and they get the kids. I shouldn't say it in a doofy manner, but my girls will go, Dad, Planned Parenthood's really good. I said, explain to me. What is Planned Parenthood? They give you contraception. You can buy that at the drugstore. Next. There's a thing called pulling out. There's a thing called, have safe sex. There's a thing, don't you girls take pills? You told me that, well, there's the new Plan B where if right after sex we take it. And so there's a lot of options. So it makes me wonder, because I have met people that have been bought to do such a thing.
No kidding. And bought, as in who is doing the buying?
This is all rumor. At the Parenthood, this is all misinformation.
Of course, it all is.
But at the end of the day, what do you really? Why does an organization have to be big? Why does an organization have to be? There's no reason why anyone should pay that. That is, always follow the dollar bill. People forget. In California, there was that group that found that abortion clinic selling the babies and the organs, and they were arrested. And I believe Kamala Harris was the head of putting them put away. I don't know that for a fact. And it exploited them. It was out for a blip, and it was like, yeah, nothing to see here. And matter of fact, what they did is illegal. You
look over there. It's Johnny Depp trial.
Is anyone, dude? The more you realize the distractions, the more belly laughing it is. If someone says to me, "Have you been watching Johnny Depp?" My whole body just goes, no. I haven't really caught up on that. Sorry about that. I go, have you seen the list of Maxine, the biggest Ghislaine, whatever has anyone, can we see who's on the flight log? Can we hear what's going on with sex trafficking? The biggest child stealing thing in the history of the world?
You mentioned distractions, whether Johnny Depp's trial or like, hey, everybody, please be as rageful and angry as possible about the Roe versus Wade. What do you think they're distracting us from? The Epstein stuff, the COVID truths.
First of all, the day that Roe, the abortion thing came out, with two things came out. The 2,000 mules, whether you want to believe it or not, and the other thing that came out was Pfizer released the first month of trials where I think 1,200 people died. That's a fact. We're not giving misinformation. That came out the same day as the abortion. They leaked that something might happen against abortion. What? Is this the first time in history where a
something, quote, leaked from a Supreme Court? That makes no sense to me.
Those are two big, threats to the tyrants, 2,000 Mules and the Pfizer docs. Wow.
1,200 people.
They've got big motive for distraction, I would think.
1,200 people died, and the FDA just went like this.
Yeah, no, let's keep rolling with it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you got to spend money to make money, and just price it, just a number on a paper. Like, come on.
I mean, the good outweighs the bad.
People are dying, so we got to kill people in the name of trying to save people here. It's just science.
Yeah, it's just science.
Science. I hate science now. After it's been just used for shaming people. It's just like the word science has been used in the most unscientific ways. It's used on an emotional basis. And instead of having an intelligent, nuanced point of view, what I will say is it's science.
Oh
it's
God.
Like, come on.
That's your end game, and you won the game. The stupidity of people saying that is mind-boggling.
It's just like saying that's what God wants. Well, I think you're copying out. I don't think you actually know what God wants, and you're maybe insecure in what you actually think. So you're just trying to use this giant trump card, but it's been overplayed.
But this is the power of mind control, JP, which I've discovered. When Joe Rogan came out and said, "Hey, man, I had COVID, and I used ivermectin with some other stuff." Now, if this was such a dangerous, killing people just randomly walking down the street, science, blah, blah, blah. I don't know about you, but me and you were on an island. It was just me, my girls, and my wife, and you and your family of 3. And someone said, and I guess we need more people. Someone said, dude, people are dying on all the other islands. The minute we get this thing, we're going to be dead unless we get a needle on our neck. Like, there's nothing we can do. And we're like, well, what does the needle work? Well, we're not really sure, but the scientists say it. And then all of a sudden, you come to me and you go, Jim, I got it. I didn't want to tell anyone, but I got it. And I ate this banana and it went away. Do you think the first thing I would say is, misinformation, JP? You know what? It's a horse. Monkeys eat bananas, pal. Monkeys eat. I can't even believe that you are forcing monkey food to help. Oh my God. Are you a doctor? Are you a doctor? Are you a biologist? Are you a scientist? Are you a doctor? The stupidity, mindless. I can never look at Terry Bradshaw again. I will never watch Fox again for putting on what could have saved lives. I consider them all murderers. They are all blindless murderers.
How many lives? That's the biggest thing. And what is it? I think Dr. Robert Malone on Rogan said, I forget the statistic, but over 800,000 lives would have been saved if they were allowed to have what's called effective treatment. Not very profitable. I get that. It is selfish of people to want to use effective treatment that'll save lives that is not patentable, so it's not very profitable. They're scumbags for wanting this. They have no right, but it could have saved lives.
It could save lives, but it's not going to fill the pockets. And it just, these people, it's a threat to our democracy. I'm teaching everyone, every time you hear the words a threat to our democracy, what they're really saying is, this is a threat to our power controlling you. That's all you got to do. Power control. That's it.
The freaking 1984 world that we live in. I just have this as a reference guide on my desk. So, what's going to happen today? Okay, Minister of Dude, it's the double speak. Everything they say that will save democracy is typically the very thing that destroys democracy. Like, we need a disinformation censorship board to limit freedom of speech to save democracy. No. Okay. You cannot question election integrity. What? In a democracy, you have to. You gotta. Freedom is a threat to our democracy. Then what the fuck are you trying to do to us?
Exactly. This is a take. I've said from day one, it's a takeover.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do, call it a takeover. I don't know. I dive pretty deep. And I keep forgetting. I keep telling people there's so many things that happen that you just keep going, nothing to see here. Keep moving along. I don't know who's the good guys or the bad guys anymore. I think I do. But during this whole thing, I'm just extremely happy there's guys like you around. And we're still out there doing what we got to do because we have a basic instinct, a God-given instinct, not a science-given instinct. And we know, I know, I've been around long enough. I don't watch television. I don't ever trust the news. I never trust the news since I was a kid. Same. So, but no matter how much we put it out, have you reached the point where you realize there's just a lot of people that just ain't going to get it? And I'm okay with that. I treat them like elderly in an elderly home, where I'm like, it's okay, but I need another. We're going to get you another shot. Yeah. I know there's another strand coming. I know it's really, let me get my mask. I'll get my mask. Everything's going to be okay, boo boo. That's the only way I can even look at them. It's sad, and I want to hug them, and I want to show them, but
they're the people happen. That are more committed to being wrong than they are to admitting they were wrong. And I've been wrong so much in my life. Growth and intelligence only happens when we admit what we learned and believed. It was wrong, or it served us for a little while, and then there's something better. Could you imagine what it'd be like to be you're in second grade, and at your limit of knowledge in second grade, you say, I will never admit that I'm wrong again. I will never let my beliefs change. You'd be walking around, probably living like you or I, Jim, but for other people, it's so Jim, I've got a question for you.
Go ahead.
Thank you for being on my show today. You mentioned bad guys a few minutes ago. I'm curious if you were able to round up 5 bad guys from around the world of your choosing and send them off in a boat, and they safely arrive at a private island. They'll never see civilization again, no communication. In other words, they're not maimed or tortured or killed, but they live out the rest of the years in a friendly way. But rest of society is never influenced by them again. Who would your top 3, 4, or 5 be?
Gates immediately.
Yeah.
The guy who talks like this, is that
Klaus
Schwab? Carl Schwab. Schumer. I just can't. I just can't.
I assume Amy Schumer you're talking about. Just kidding.
I don't know her well. I'm going with her uncle. A lot of people don't know that's her uncle.
No kidding. I did not know that.
Yes, wow. I think it's her uncle. And you know what? Amy is what it is, but she pisses me off, and not pisses me off. I go, oh, okay, you're one of them. When you come out in the Oscars, you're like, gay, don't say gay. It's not what it says, moron. I love Wanda Sykes. I love her to death and know her forever, but
moron. Don't think gay.
It's not what the bill says. Read it before you discuss and before you hang out with your elites that go, listen, you need to go out there. You like doing your movies, right? With all the other same type of people. We got to push this agenda out there. I mean, come on, man. We're gonna start calling shots. I'll call some shots out. You ain't gonna like what I gotta say. Because I seen everything go down. I know whose career was going what way until they went, hey, I'll do that. Yeah, I'm a new movie star. Anyway. Yeah, okay. Anyway. Where was I going with this? Okay.
Schumer.
Pelosi.
Ooh, yeah.
Pelosi and this guy, Adam Schiff. Damn, that's I cut it short. That's my 5. I gotta
Dude, there's so many. Well,
there's too many. There's way too many.
there is
There's
because,
too many.
I mean, in honorable mentions, maybe we'll throw these guys on my boat and we'll just
Tell me.
like Hillary Clinton,
Tell me.
Fauci.
Oh, I wasn't even. Oh, dude, Fauci's number 2.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, Schwab, Fauci, Gates, boom, the 3 big cannons right there. Fire! There goes Gates. Clinton on the spot. Just she's beyond gone. I want them all march down the street and just see how. I want those 2. I want yeah, that's 3. Who else you got? Fauci, Schwab, Clinton, Gates.
Gates for sure. Yeah, man. There.
Walk of shame.
I'd be, Mark Zuckerberg. He, it's good of him to win the election for everybody, but
and the Twitter guy.
Jack Dorsey. I think his name is.
Class act.
Their control over speech, people, tracking, influencing the election. Just
it's a private company.
Well, it's a monopoly. So then let's break the company up.
It's a private company.
Dude, I'm going to sound like a...
No, you're not.
AOC.
No. Oh God.
Her.
She's on the top of my list too. I don't
think she's that powerful. I just think she's obnoxious.
She's obnoxious. Who's the Maxine Waters and the Chicago?
Oh, Lori Lightfoot. Beetlejuice.
God, Beetlejuice. She's got to go. Ooh. Beetlejuice. All of them. They got to go. They're done. Done with them all. Who looks at Beetlejuice and go, "That's my mayor"? Who looks at Gavin Newsom going, I pray to God that Gavin Newsom stays in control forever. Eventually, we want 20-year-olds to bang 5-year-olds. I mean, now we're only up to 11-year-olds, and that's legal. But no, let's get to the 4 and 5-year-olds. I think that's kind of cool. Man love is cool with that. I mean, that's kind of the way of life, right? Okay.
Dude. Oh, Kevin Trudeau. We got a.
Oh, he's a great one.
We sound like homicidal maniacs. But again, everybody, we're not killing them. They get a nice boat, cushions. They get organic food once they arrive on the island. And
martinis.
Absolutely.
Blue cheese olives.
Absolutely. And Pelosi, we even have a whatever they do to make her
the makeup
not look 137, her fake hair, whatever it is.
Chocolate ice cream, the nicest ice cream she ever can have.
Yeah.
Big fan.
We're gonna trade her
we got to get together and we'll do I know you got to go. I got to go. But we got to do a whole list of this. And I want to talk to you about something. And I'm not going to... I discussed you today and multiple times with a project. And I'll talk to you off air about it. But I think I, in my opinion, feel like you should be one of the first people to be part of the project. And I'll explain to you. Is off the air. I know you want to hear it and do all that jazz. But I'm a fan. I love what you do. I hope everyone checks into what you do. And if they haven't, I'd be shocked if they don't know who you are yet. But check out all of JP's socials, the videos, backlog. Watch them all. I wish you, your wife, and your lovely child such happiness and love for all of you. And I can't thank you enough for coming on. I'm a huge fan.
Jim, thank you for having me. All that goes straight to my heart. And you are hilarious. And more importantly, you have such a big heart that shines through. So thank you for being your awesome self. And I'm so glad to be connected with you, brother.
Take care, brother. We'll talk off air. And, if you're too deep to, not, don't worry about it. JP, everyone. If you don't know JP Sears, you should check out some of his videos. Comedy's different for all different people, but common sense and his fight for freedom. He's a freedom fighter. And big fan. And I hope you check him out. I do want to, it's very interesting. Him, Eddie Bravo, guys like that. I really enjoy having these guys as guests. I'll take who you think we should have on, but I'm begging you all to, time's going to get crazy. And when you see things like the Roe verse, which by the way, it is a fact, before you get all tied up with rights and the Roe, don't forget, Roe said, whether it was truth or not, she admitted it was all a lie. It was all a lie. So I don't know much about the case, and I don't want to get into that. I just pray to God you're never in a position where you have to make decisions like that. Why don't we talk about those things, how to prevent those positions, rather than doing this whole fake propaganda and jumping up and down and screaming and yelling. It is just like they had BLM and just like they did Antifa. This is paid. They're paid coming after you. Now it's going to be the whole abortion. They're paid to come after you. Trust me. It's all just hoopla. You don't think it's weird about the biggest scandal in human history is not aired, but you're watching Johnny Depp? Children being stolen by the hundreds of thousands and millions? You're not even going to question it? Nobody? But you're all hopped up about, some other nonsense. You are in a movie. These are actors. Biden's an actor. They're all actors. Trust me. I know it sounds crazy. You have an instinct. You have a thought process. You have love. Don't let anyone tell you that you don't. Love and light is going to prevail. Trust me. The more information you gather, the more you'll be better off. Safe journeys to you. Hope you have a great week. We got a lot of cool stuff coming for you Patreon members. It's going to be exciting read through on Sunday. And all that good jazz. I love you guys. I wish you all the best. I'll see you out on the road. Got the Paramount. Go to jimbreuer.com. And we'll talk very soon. Good hanging out today. All the best to you. And thank you, JP Sears, for joining me on the Breuniverse. Mike, be safe, brother. Talk to you soon. This is Jim Breuer, and I got my own Patreon page, and hopefully you'll check it out. Live comedy concert streamed once a month. Weekly, you host your own podcast, and you interview me. Early access to the Breuniverse Podcast every single week, and I have bonus footage and bonus segments, and you get to access my last comedy special, Somebody Had to Say It. There's a lot there. I promise you I'm not going to let you down. Go check out my official Jim Breuer Patreon page, and I'll see you there.